What is going on? What's up, everybody? Of course, I'm late to my own show, but that's okay. It's been a long and fun and hard work-filled week here in Las Vegas covering Canelo-Munguia. And this fight, Canelo-Munguia, which, regardless who you think is going to win, is pretty much guaranteed to be an action fight, has now become the background music to everything else that's been happening this week. Ryan Garcia has, in the news of his PED tests have, totally become the story of the week. And then the second story isn't even Canelo and Munguia. It's, Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo going back and forth, and Oscar now doing a lawsuit on Canelo. So lots to get to today. I'm thirsty. Please forgive me. I ate some pasta before I came on. They talk about how hard it is to stay hydrated once it starts getting warm in Vegas. But anyway, I want to say what's up to everyone who showed up early in the chat. What's up, boxing analyst? What's up, Alec Villa? Boston's, my guy Boston's is always in the chat. 3 Pumps. I was just thinking of you the other day, 3 Pumps. Today, actually. I said, what? Have I not seen 3 Pumps in the chat? But good to see you, 3 Pumps. And, of course, my boy Chiquian Boxing, the young homie, is not in the live. He checked in early, but he's actually getting his school concert on. And shout out to that young man grinding hard in school. So, lots to get to, guys. I guess we'll start with what has become the biggest story of the week, and that's Ryan. It's not Canelo and Munguia. So I asked Ryan a tough question earlier today. I actually had a live after the Jose Ramirez fight on Saturday night where I talked about Ryan being a deceiver, but I didn't love... I knew that my opinions were pretty explosive on that Ryan and Bill and Floyd going back and forth. So I pushed out a little bit. I made it private after it happened. But I know some of my hardcores were in that live. And funny enough, some of that stuff came to light. So before I get started, I want to keep things fair, always. And, Ryan will have his point of contention with Team Haney, that they're very close to Victor Conte, who's very close to Vada. And as we all know, Victor Conte was the biggest steroid and performance-enhancing drug supplier in American sports. Got convicted of prison to it. We all know that. So I want to point that out for Ryan. And I pointed that out on Wednesday's live. The same thing, because I'm not intellectually dishonest. I understand that the world will speculate because of those connections to be made. But ultimately, it's not speculation or theory here. Ryan Garcia has popped dirty for performance-enhancing drugs, and the big word on the curb in the boxing world is that this is the word on the curb, is that he will inevitably be found testing positive for a second performance-enhancing drug, nandrolone, and it's a longer name for the actual drug, but it's I guess closely linked with nandrolone, which is much easier for me to pronounce. And if that's the case, then man, this is going to become one of the biggest stories in my career, one of the biggest stories for everyone who loves boxing and watching the show. This is going to be one of the biggest stories we've seen. This has already stretched beyond our sphere of boxing. I can't remember the last... I know Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence got on ESPN on SportsCenter. I know Ryan and Tank did last year, but I can't remember the last time a fighter appeared on primetime ESPN SportsCenter for a sit-down one-on-one interview in the middle of the show. And that's what Devin Haney did last night. And that signified to me that this story has just begun, and it's going to be... I think it's going to be one of the biggest boxing stories of my lifetime, of my career. And yeah, I think it's just begun. So let's start here. I was gone for a minute. I asked Ryan, well, I should have had this pulled up already, but I asked Ryan something about the fight, and it's getting some good traction, 100,000 on Twitter, which is, always cool, I guess. But let's listen in to what I had to ask Ryan Garcia today about all this coming out.
Ryan, but you're fresh off you bragged about deceiving the whole world. Why should the public believe you now when you deceived everyone in the lead?
That's a loaded question, bro. Some things need to be taken serious. There was many things that I said on my lead up that were very serious. Child sex trafficking, very serious. Yes. And
You hear me go yes in the background because I was never one of the people dragging Ryan for, quote unquote conspiracy theories. I'm a conspiracy theorist myself. And I think there's definitely smoke to that fire about the elite and pedophilia and child trafficking and Hollywood and all of that. I am open to those kinds of things. But now, and I suspected this as it was happening, but I didn't want to shoot him down because so few people talk about these topics, especially someone with celebrity like Ryan. But I suspected this, and now I suspect it more, that he is using that as a way of, not that he may not indeed care about it. Anybody with a decent heart would care about children, but that he's using it as a way to promote things. And here, it kind of felt like he brought it up as a red herring. It felt like he brought it up as a red herring to divert attention from what the story is right now, which is him and PEDs. So yeah, let's hear that.
There was many things that I said on my lead up that were...
And I understand why Ryan's saying that's a loaded question, but it's a truthful question. He bragged about it. He said, y'all were tripping. You guys, I was right there in Brooklyn after he pulled off the upset, and he said, you guys were tripping. You guys were paying way too much attention to a kid on social media instead of the important issues, which I thought was a fair statement to a degree and a smart statement to a degree. But I think he went on Patrick Bet David and said, we pre-recorded a lot of that stuff months ago, and this was all a deceptive plan. And so my question is, look, you just got done bragging about deceiving the whole world. Why should the world believe you now?
We're very serious. Child sex trafficking, very serious. Yes. And I'm still passionate about it. I'm still working behind the scenes against it. So there's a time and place for everything. This is not something to play with, bro. They're trying to say I'm a cheater, bro. I've never cheated in my life. I don't even cheat in video games. This is what I'm saying. This is bullshit, bro. Do not believe the hype. They fucking trying to set me up.
It's kind of funny he says they're trying to set me up. And, if we're doing Illuminati theories, he's the one who's got the all-seeing eye on his hand. And part of me wonders, has he been an agent of chaos? Has he been, the elite, from what I've, gotten into trying to go down the rabbit holes of truth, they sometimes have people who are called an agent of chaos. And now part of me wonders, is some of that, despite all his talking about the elite, has he actually been serving a purpose for them, knowingly or unknowingly? But that's a whole deeper thing. And again, Ryan will contend his points as well when it comes to Victor Conti and Snack and Devin Haney. So let's listen to some more of Ryan's side of things.
Coordinated attack from a higher entity,
bro,
Ryan?
100%.
If there is a rematch, at what weight?
It's the devil, bro. The devil's influencing Bill and all them motherfuckers, bro. Remember, it says in the Bible, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood.
One thing looking at Ryan here, chat, am I tripping or his head got bigger, which is a sign of testosterone usage, of steroid usage? I feel like, because we were all wondering, why is his voice different a few months ago? And I'm not, it's just the head thing is messing with me, because I feel like if we look at old photos of Ryan compared to now, his head is larger. And, but go on, chat. Am I tripping? Am I seeing things?
What do you think? These dudes are weirdos, bro. They're trying to take a young Christian man down. I would never, ever take steroids in my life. And we already know that. I don't cheat, bro. This is God-given. I'm the Mexican strongest. What? We hit hard, bro.
It was almost like in that moment, because I wasn't even asking him the question, and I was buried in the back of the scrum, and we made eye contact here for a minute. It was almost like he could tell I'm the one that's not buying it. But maybe I'm just being a little narcissistic and ego-filled there, but it felt like it for a second.
My life, and we already know that. I don't cheat, bro. This is God-given. I'm the Mexican strongest. What? We hit hard, bro. Tank? That's what I'm saying. Tank even knows. But I did vigorous fucking tests with Tank. Not one time tested positive. If there was any time to fucking use steroids, it's probably against Tank, right?
Ryan, what about everybody that's coming to your aid, Ryan? What are you saying about everybody that's coming to your aid?
No weapon against me shall prosper. Keep praying for me, because this is just the first attack.
Did you see Conor message?
Shane Mosley hugging him. And Sugar Shane Mosley's one of the greatest fighters I ever seen in my life. But it is ironic that the great Sugar Shane Mosley, who was great at lightweight before any kind of bulking up to a higher weight class, the only fight we officially know Sugar Shane used some performance enhancers was the De La Hoya rematch all the way up at 154, where he was small for that weight. But it is ironic that Shane is the one to defend him because he did performance enhancers before as well. But Sugar Shane is one of the greatest fighters I ever seen. All right, and more from Ryan.
Trying to take my victory away. This is some bull fucking shit, bro. I've never seen a bigger inside job in my life. Do your research.
Never seen a bigger inside job in your life? Have you heard of 9/11, Ryan?
These yes, I am. They are fucking trying to take my victory away from me. I don't know why. They see a Mexican on top and they want to take him down.
Ryan, we need to be that you are no fucking Mexican. Tell the people that you have a Mexican look.
It's fucking
Ryan,
it's in my
Ryan, you posted on social media. Your mom
What
posted on social media
in order to prove that you whatever, fucking take a piece of my hair, I'll piss in the
You did the B sample, right?
Bro, yeah,
Are you requesting it?
Of course I'm requesting.
That's what we're talking about.
But who's to say if they didn't take the A sample, they won't take the B sample?
See, he already knows that the B sample is going to come out dirty, and he's already he knows the B sample is going to come out dirty probably, and that's why this is me. All right, like I got to say, speculation wise, but it feels like he already knows that's a losing battle, and that the B sample will likely come back positive, and so he's already on to discrediting it.
Right, bro. Yeah,
Are you requesting it?
Of course I'm requesting.
That's what we're talking about.
But who's to say if they didn't take the A sample, they won't take the B sample? Come on, at the end of the day, this is bullshit. It's an inside fucking job. Victor Conte literally helped create VADA. Look it up. And this dude got banned from baseball, but we let him in boxing? What kind of bullshit?
True. All true. And that's fair game for Ryan to point out. That's definitely fair game.
Snack is...
And anybody that associates with Snack, whether it's Devin or Terrence or anybody, is going to have some raised eyebrows from the public. That's just how it goes when you associate with the country's biggest convicted performance-enhancing drug supplier. That's just how that's going to go.
Fucking gross. First of all, I remember I did work with them just for a fucking, some payment back in the day. But guess what? I never even took the fucking supplements because I always felt like it was cheating. These motherfuckers are known cheaters. They know how to cheat. They know how to mask. And guess what? They know how to taint shit because they just taint my greatest victory. But isn't it funny that Damn,
I mean, that's a mouthful. That's a mouthful. And you know what? I'm not God. I don't know. None of us are. None of us know the full truth. And that's a mouthful that Ryan said. And I'm not saying I'm going along with it, but I'll keep an open mind. That's for sure.
Some payment back in the day. But guess what? I never even took the fucking supplements because I always felt like it was cheating. These motherfuckers are known cheaters. They know how to cheat. They know how to mask. And guess what? They know how to taint shit because Because
I want to be fair to Ryan and not kick him while he's down right now. The truth is stranger than fiction. The truth is stranger than fiction. So anything's possible. But I think we'll see. I think if that Nandrolone indeed comes back, he's gonna be a disgraced superstar.
Taint my greatest victory. But isn't it funny that everybody popped for Osterine? Why is it that everybody popped for Osterine? Come on, man. This is an inside fucking job.
Canelo-Jaime. Who's gonna win?
I said not that fast. Chat.
Ryan, when you're fresh off the seat, you bragged about deceiving the whole world. Why should the public believe you now when you deceived everyone in the league?
That's a loaded question, bro. Some things need to be...
In respect to Ryan for even stopping and answering my question and not telling me to fuck off, I appreciate that.
Taken serious. There was many things that I said on my lead up that were very serious. Child sex trafficking, very serious, and I'm still passionate about it. I'm still working behind the scenes against it. So there's a time and place for everything. This is not something to play with, bro. They're trying to say I'm a cheater, bro. I've never cheated in my life. I don't even cheat in video games. This is what I'm saying. This is bullshit, bro. Do not believe the hype. They fucking trying to set me up.
All right, there's two sides to every story. Ryan letting his case be known. Let's listen to the last video I got here with Ryan. This was actually the first things he said.
steroids. I'm not that much of a fucking idiot. First of all, these motherfuckers set it up.
Public Enemy says, Sean, you're biased against Ryan, aren't you? You hate Mexican fighters. Sir, wife's Mexican. Canelo's behind me. Morales and Barrera behind me. Salvador Sanchez is behind me. And then, you know, no. Eric El Terrible Morales, Salvador Sanchez. These are two of my Mount Rushmore fighters. The other two would be Bernard Hopkins and Sugar Ray Leonard. So no, not at all. My son is Mexican, so I understand that may not change your opinion, but I just thought I'd point that out. You could think what you want.
How they have this excuse already built in. His fucking brother was like, oh, he's gonna test positive for PEDs.
Bro.
How the fuck would you know that? Come on now. They trying to play me, try to take my victory. I never took steroids in life, never would. These motherfuckers are.
And I'll give Ryan credit for this. He's standing he's standing and delivering. He's standing in front of the media and giving his side of the story. He's not hiding.
Clowns. And we know damn well he don't really want the rematch because he just claimed I don't want no rematch. So there won't be no rematch. I beat the shit out of him. It was the easiest fucking fight I've ever had in my life. So I'm not gonna fight him again. I felt like I was fighting an amateur. I made it look like he shouldn't even be in the ring with me. But if he want to do it again, I'm gonna end him even worse because he's never gonna be the same after an ass whooping. You take an ass whooping like that.
Hey, and you pretty and shit. And you pretty and shit.
Come on, man. There's people yelling, and you're pretty and shit. Come on, man. Let's ask the guy some real questions.
Hey, and you pretty and shit. And you pretty and shit.
If you do it again, wait.
You right. The B
That was Ryan speaking his case, and I said yesterday on the live, I knew he would make points as it referred to Conti and Vada and Snack and Haney. And those are all fair connections to point out, but he can't talk his way out of if the Nandrolone holds up and if the New York State Athletic Commission investigates everything and it all holds up, it all passes the smell test. He is going to remain a superstar, but he'll be a little bit like Tyson was in the late 90s. He will be a disgraced superstar. My hypocrite ass will still cover his fight if they let me because it'll be interesting to see. I got a super chat to get to from my man NorCal Danny Muzi. Says, I'm Italian and Portuguese on my dad's side and Mexican on my mom's. I believe Salvador Sanchez is the greatest Mexican fighter. Who is yours? I'm with you. I think it's Salvador Sanchez. Not in terms of accomplishments. He died too young. But in terms of what my eyes saw, I feel like Sal was the best. And I feel like he would have beaten Julio Cesar Chavez head-to-head at 130. Even though Julio was a better puncher, was stronger than him. I think Sal was just a better overall fighter and had the chin to withstand and the durability and endurance to withstand Chavez's body attack and all that. But I think Salvador is the greatest. But I think in terms, if you have to factor in accomplishments, I think right now it's between Julio Cesar Chavez, Canelo Alvarez, and Juan Manuel Marquez. I think those are probably the three most accomplished Mexican fighters of all time. And you got to put Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, Salvador Sanchez, Ricardo Lopez. I know old school heads would remind me Carlos Zarate and Ruben Oliveras would be up there too. But, for me personally, I acknowledge Julio Cesar Chavez's greatness, but I feel like he sucks too much of the wind out of the room. And some of the guys who are just as great as him, Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric El Terrible Morales, Dinamita Marquez, these guys were just as great. They were just as great and actually had faster hands than him. Marquez could counter better than Chavez. Morales and Barrera had faster hand speed than he had. So, I'm with you. Salvador Sanchez. Let me take a look. What else we got? Oh, yeah, Shane Mosley. So, to be fair to Ryan, Shane Mosley defended him on it. I don't know how good of a look that is because of Shane's past history with PEDs, but again, I'll say it. Sugar Shane Mosley, one of the greatest fighters I ever seen. And let's hear it.
You have the camera?
What's up, Shane?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
How you doing, champ? Any thoughts on this Ryan news that came out about the PED?
Mr. Purse said, I love you, Sean, but you got to have all the facts. I hear you.
Test and all that, Shane?
Well, I think, if something was wrong, it should have came out before he fought, right? because they take the test before you fight and they take the test afterwards.
I guess it takes 2 weeks, and it's the test that happened the day before the fight, the day of, and it took a certain amount of time to come in. That's what they're saying.
Did they have the water or somebody tested? They have water, right? So don't they do like testing before you, like maybe 5 days before or a week before, like during camp? There's always been random tests been taken, right?
Yeah.
So did the random test say that they had steroids in it?
The final one, the day before the fight, the day of.
Yeah, but I'm saying random was that he took before, so they can know that if he's taking it or not. Right? So they can stop it. So I mean, if they didn't stop that and they took random tests, when was this random test?
Right. Shane saying, why did he only test positive the day of the fight and the day before? If he was juicing, why didn't they get him for the random test 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, 6 weeks before, 4 weeks before? I think what Shane's getting at is that there's something fishy going on. So let's listen.
4 times, but then they did one right before the fight, so the weigh-in day, and then after the fight, of course. So
And then it was like a month before or something like that.
I'm not really sure. You know, I think it's kind of weird, but maybe, you know, maybe some things that can happen. Some things that show up at his test. You know, I know there was.
You know, Victor Conti, in his documentary on Netflix, he would get guys to wear his gear and to take his stuff, steroids or supplements, and then he would extort them if they didn't want to go along. And maybe that's why Shane feels the way he feels. See, I'm being fair to Ryan, chat. Maybe that's why Shane feels the way he feels. Maybe he got caught up in that game with Victor Conti once upon a time. Victor Conti threatened to extort him. This is a conspiracy theory I had last year when you know, I got dragged with the PED stuff with the great Naoya Inoue and all that. But I began to, as I looked into this PED and VADA, I began to cook up a theory of my own that you can make a lot more money if you're VADA extorting the fighters who you got with their dirty piss. Instead of 20, 30, 40 grand for the testing cycle and making your profit off of that as a business, you'd be better off extorting fighters when you have their dirty piss. Sometimes maybe you're supplying it to them, supplements that you told them were clean, but it turns out they'll pop up on a drug test and make you dirty, and now they got you by the balls. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Shane Mosley experienced some type of nefarious dealings with Victor Conti, and that's why he feels the way he feels. Maybe it's not so much that he loves Ryan Garcia or dislikes Devin Haney, or I don't know. We don't know. None of us are God.
Time where there was a person that failed to test on the A side, but they passed the test on the B side, and nothing was said about it.
Yarmus Potter says, Sean Zittel, you know this for a fact. Know what for a fact?
So I'm just going to leave that there. You guys can do research on that one, where on the first test, it was on the A side, they failed. But on the B side...
Charles Baker said, nah, Ryan cheated, bro. That's what I believe. But, you know, let's let things play out. But, yeah, that's what I believe.
But on the B side, they passed it. So, I don't know. There's a lot of speculation.
Let me answer this. What do you think should happen to fighters that are caught cheating? What do you think the punishment should be?
I think they should get suspension. They should have a suspension or they should, you know, be penalized for it.
Should the losing fighters zero be restored? Like
no contest or DQ win? What do you
I mean, you go back in history of all these different fighters that, you know, has been cheating or whatever. Yeah, I would say, you know,
Alec Villa, I am Italian and from Brooklyn. I think I have a little bit of a nose for that kind of stuff.
Maybe it's a no contest. Just make it a no contest. That you know, nobody wins, nobody loses.
I think that is where we're headed, but we'll see.
It's just a no contest. Maybe that's a better, you know, better solution for that remedy.
Shane, you know,
So here comes this question, because just because I do think what's coming out is true about Ryan, I don't want to do him dirty. I want to give him his side of the story. So that's why I asked this to Shane right here.
You know,
and I already suspect and have a feeling for Shane that this is where he's heading towards. So let me get him to expand on what he really thinks.
best solution for that remedy.
Shane, one thing that Team Garcia is pointing out is Victor Conti and that he has a close relationship with Wada.
Yeah. I mean, he has a very close relationship with Wada, and also what's confusing me, and I was just saying this on a thing, that Victor Conti owns Snack, which Snack has all the fighters.
Right.
But Victor Conti's known for doing steroids and having steroids.
Right.
And he has a part in, what's it, Wada?
Vada,
whatever it is.
Shane is not going to get that shit right for the life of him.
He's a part of Vada. So if you take all that considerations, I mean, the thing, it seemed like it's rigged anyway. If you have all the boxes of Snack doing this.
I mean, Ryan was on Snack for.
So then I had to leave because I saw Ryan. All the cameras. I was, oh shit! Here comes Ryan.
You mentioned the A side, B side last thing for me. Wouldn't you say Ryan was the A side in that fight?
No.
So I left. I left once I saw Ryan. So just to be fair, there, got a couple super chats I got to get to. Let me see here. But thank you from again NorCal Danny Musi. Thank you, brother. Grazie, Paisan. Says, Better Biev is hurt. Do you believe Benavidez beats him at 75? I believed Benavidez. I got Benavidez over the field at 68 to 75. And that's not because he's a flawless fighter. He's not. But I'll remind you of a quote Jim Lampley once said about Lennox Lewis in his prime. There's chinks in that armor, but that's a whole lot of armor. And that's David Benavidez to me right now. Yeah, he's been fighting guys he's naturally bigger than. And his chin hasn't truly been tested as he fights these men that are naturally smaller than him, because he's really a natural light heavyweight who could even grow into a cruiserweight, no problem one day, fighting super middleweights, but it's not against the rules. If you can get down to the weight class, you can get down to the weight class, and youth is your best friend when it comes to squeezing down in weight. And David is finally getting closer to 30, but he's still, 27? So he's been able in his youth to squeeze down. That David said in the interview we did last week that he's been wanting to go to light heavyweight for years, but he's been sticking around for the potential Canelo fight and the money fights at 68. But I think Benavidez, I had Benavidez beating Better Biev and Bivol before Better Biev's injury, and I still have it that way because he's really big, he's really fast, he punches really hard, he loves to fight, he's young and improving. And he has a little bit underrated reflexes, a little bit underrated twitches on the defensive end. He gets hit, but he likes to stay in there. And what excites me about Better Biev and Canelo for David is David's been fighting guys on the back foot. I want to see what David looks like in a fight where someone's coming to him, because I think he's going to look better against that type of style. I don't think he's going to be one of these guys that ain't so hot when you put the pressure on them and they can't fight backing up. I think, we'll go back and watch the Ronald Graville rematch. Ronald Graville, many levels below Canelo Alvarez or Arthur Beterbiev, but he boxed beautifully in that fight. And I think a part of why he looks ugly at times to his critics is his feet are slow, and he has to reach for punches in the center of the ring against good back foot fighters. Canelo and Beterbiev bringing that smoke to him, I would love to see it, and I think he'll be so happy to finally have a fighter pursuing him instead of evading him. So thank you again, Danny. Only one Stezo says, okay, so let's get Haney gets what he wants, and his loss is taken off his record. How long does he go before he loses again? He has been exposed. I don't know. So here's the thing for Devin Haney. Here's the thing. If this plays out and he gets a no contest, which is the right call if Ryan, can't disprove the Osterine to positive test, and if on top of that the Nandrolone comes on top of it, then along with the 3 pounds coming in overweight, it's got to be a no contest. But Devin Haney can't let himself off the hook here. Whatever he was internalizing before he found out about this steroid stuff, he was telling himself, I had to work on this. I had to keep the right hand up better, not bow and arrow the jab. I got to box and get back to my jab and being slick instead of stepping up and stepping to guys and having this infatuation with power and loading up on shots and sitting down on shots to try to become the power puncher that God just didn't make me to be. And he can't throw that all out the window if this gets ruled into a no contest, because if this plays out like that, then God is blessing him with something very. God is blessing him because you got to feel what it was like to have a loss and the pain and growth that should come from a loss in the end without actually taking the loss on your record. So, but if he absolves himself, that's it. I knew I was better than him, and he lets all the internalization of the improvements he needs to make, and he just throws it out the window because Ryan popped dirty, and that's it, and that's all. That's not going to be good for Devin. Look, Floyd Mayweather, it wasn't right, in my opinion. And I understand, it takes two to tango. Bill Haney was the first one to publicly start this feud by bragging about his son getting off on Floyd in sparring. I understand that. And so Floyd took shots over the last couple years, and then he waited for Devin to falter to pounce and speak his piece. I still don't think that's a good thing to do. But the advice he gave to Devin about no longer bowing an arrow, and I know a good Twitter page exposed that Floyd bowed an arrow plenty of times and got away with it. But still, some of the technical stuff Floyd was talking about, it was correct, whether Devin wanted to hear it from him in that moment or not, and Bill wanted to hear it from him or not. So they should still shore up all their technical deficiencies, get back to the jab, get back to boxing and feinting and doing what Devin does best. That's how I'd answer it. When would he lose again? Well, I don't think it'd be smart to jump back in with punchers like Matias or Tio or Tank, or even a rematch with Ryan right now, which Devin said last night on SportsCenter he's not interested in it anyways. He should go fight. He should take a break and then fight Sandor Martin, who's an older fighter, who's not dangerous in terms of punching power. He needs to restabilize himself after this beating Ryan gave, apparently unfairly gave. So he needs to stabilize himself, get his feet and legs back underneath him, so to speak, fight Sandor Martin, and take it from there. And we'll see. So, got another super chat from Ernesto Z. Said, does hair follicle test prove Ryan's innocence? I don't know. It'll help. It'll certainly help his case, but I'm not a doctor with that stuff. But the great Canelo Alvarez popped for that clenbuterol and then wound up passing a hair test. I don't know. I don't know. I'll leave that alone for a moment, but it'll help his case. It'll help his case. Charles, thank you for the super chat. Said, I truly believe Benavidez Morel will be fire at 175. It will be. That's an amazing fight. That's a two titans clashing. Morel is an incredible talent who has the fancy footwork that David does not have, but he's a puncher like David, and he's big and strong like David, and he has fast hands like David. But he has something David doesn't have, and that's the footwork. But we don't know how he's going to like that smoke. We haven't seen him hit by a legit super middleweight. David's at least been hit by some super middleweights, Anthony Durrell and Caleb. Andrade was a 54, 60-pounder moving up. But, yeah, Morel hasn't, proven it yet. His eye test is fantastic. But, we got to see when that happens. That's a fight that actually does. I've said it for over a year now. That's a fight that actually deserves to be built up. Don't Mayweather-Pacquiao it. Don't Crawford-Spence it. Damn sure don't Juanma Lopez, Yuriorkis Gamboa it. But give it a little time. That fight's not ready to be made yet. Morel hasn't proven anything. And Benavidez deserves a shot at Alvarez. And if he doesn't get a shot at Canelo, then, he deserves to fight the champions at 75. Let Morel, handle his business for a little while. And then him and Benavidez, when it's right, about 18 months, 24 months from now, maybe even 12 months, we'll see. Maybe Morel gets a huge break and opportunity, and he gets to replace Arthur Beterbiev, and he fights Bivol, and he beats Bivol. A lot of people would pick the green Cubano to do it. I'd give him a great chance, but let that, like Angelo Dundee said about Leonard Hearns in 1980. He says, I can smell it. Give it a year. Give it a year, and it'll be big. Give it a year and a half. Give it 2 years. They're not going nowhere. David will be 29. Morel, how old's Morel, Chad? What's he, 24, 25, 23? He'll be in his prime. They'll be in their prime, and they can get busy when it makes sense. But don't, I'm not saying hold it off too long. I'm not trying to protect David Benavidez from Morel, but that fight needs a little marination. I got a quick super chat, and then let's get to some Canelo Alvarez, right? Shall we? Boxing Hacker said, blaming Victor Conte sounds dumb. Thank goodness this case won't be resolved by court of public opinion. Ryan went from having an alibi to swearing he's being set up. he acts guilty and his fans buy it. Well, Boxing Hacker, his fans buy it because he has crossed over into being a celebrity now. And once you tap into celebrity level fame, you attract an irrational set of fan base. People, because false idol worship is a serious thing in this world, and it's a little underestimated. And once you become a celebrity, which trends towards being a false idol, people begin to irrationally worship you and all, and you've been seeing that from Ryan since he upset Devin Haney, because it wasn't just another fighter upsetting a champion. Ryan, with his good looks and his polarizing charisma and personality, he tapped into crossover celebrity. And that's why Devin was on SportsCenter last night, because it was Ryan Garcia who did it to him. And when you tap into that celebrity, man, you're going to bring about, like I said, a whole irrational set and group of people. And that's what you're seeing from the Ryan Garcia fan base right now. FMG Films, what's good, brother? Thank you for the super chat. Said, Sean, what's good, my boy? What are your thoughts on Ben Whittaker out of the UK? He's supremely talented, but some of the shit that he's doing in these early fights isn't going to cut it at a higher level. And, it's fun and it makes highlight reels, but he's got to settle down and work and fight the kind of style he'll need to fight when he faces better champions. There's really no questions about his physical talent. He's super talented, but there's a little question about the mental makeup, when he's so infatuated with showboating and all of that. And Jaron Ennis did a lot of that stuff too in a number of his fights. But I think Ben Whittaker did it and went the distance recently. He didn't even get the guy out of there. But basically, to answer your question quickly, FMG Films, great talent, but he's a little full of himself with some of the things he does. And I don't care so much about that, but handle your business. Work on the things that are going to translate to the next level, because putting the hands down and going with the uppercut and all that, you're not Roy Jones. And, you're not Roy Jones. And Roy Jones wasn't playing with his food like that. I know he did it to James Toney, but what did he do right after he showboated James? Dropped his ass with the left hook. So get busy, get the most out of your talent, and you'll be a problem if you're Ben Whittaker. So, all right, man. We've got over 300 people. That's awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's take a look now at Canelo. Oh, you know what? We will close with words of wisdom on Ryan Garcia from the great Jim Lampley, a man I admire very much.
Here with the legendary Jim Lampley again.
In my field, he is the best blow-by-blow man of my lifetime. Shout out to Don Dunphy, who did blow-by-blow way before I was born. He's right there with Jim Lampley, but for my money, this is the man.
Jim, we're bothering you a lot in these fight weeks, so very grateful for your time. What do you think about Ryan Garcia's recent positive test with Ostarine?
And Jim is getting older, and all of us do, right? None of us get younger. But yeah, I noticed Jim, he pulls into here now. I have to repeat sometimes, and Jim's getting older, but I'm so happy that he's just here here at the fights and still providing his insight and his poetic, articulate takes.
With the VADA testing and everything.
I think that Ostarine, I am told, I'm not a scientist and I'm not an expert on each individual performance-enhancing drug, but I'm told that it's significant enough that it can, in fact, enhance and influence performance.
The Ostarine is actually the lesser of the two evils. The Nandrolone is worse because that is weightlifting steroids. That's like OG Mark McGuire shit.
Point one. Point two is Voluntary Anti-Doping Association is a legitimate, scientifically based testing organization which has no incentive to lie and, in my belief, does not lie. And if they say they have a positive result taken within the
I love Jim, but Jim, I believe, has a great relationship with Margaret Goodman. So I don't know how quick he'd really be to want to shoot VADA down, because I know the type of respect he has for Margaret Goodman, who is a commissioned doctor in many of the great fights he covered and called. So, I just try to be fair and point out any connections that may be there. But
meaningful time frame, then they have a positive result.
What about Ryan Garcia?
Larry listened, corrected me, and said, no, it's not Sean. Sean Sarm SARMs are way worse, and I know SARMs is Andra. I heard Chris Algieri spoke about it. Chris Algieri's so smart about that stuff. I recommend everyone, Larry Liston's point, to listen to Chris Algieri talk about this.
Team Garcia's contention that Vada has too close a relationship with Victor Conti, who have worked closely with the Haneys in the past, and that's kind of their retort to all of this, Jim.
I don't think that Vada has any reason to lie for the approval of Victor Conti. It is true that Victor Conti, who I believe legitimately did make a reversal from being a negative criminal figure in the world of performance.
Quickly, Hector Maldonado said, did Osterine make Devin prone to the left hook? No, and that's why I mentioned just 10 minutes ago that Devin can't mentally let himself off the hook here should this get turned into a no contest. He still has to look at the film and shore up the things that led to him getting with the left hook over and over again.
Enhancing drugs.
And it still wasn't a good game plan. And I think Bill Haney would admit it still wasn't a good game plan.
Changing his persona and attempting to assist an ongoing effort to create testing measures and authorities which can reverse the tide and push back against performance-enhancing drugs is associated indirectly with Vada. He advised Vada back at the beginning and advised some figures in Vada as to how most effectively to do what they're doing. And yes, he is an advisor to and a working authority with Devin Haney. But that
David Bedford as a diehard 49ers man, if you don't believe me, hold on. I know I'm digressing here, but he brought up Deebo Samuel. Don't get me wrong, brother. As a diehard man, the Niners got to trade Deebo anyways.
That doesn't mean that Vada would lie to satisfy Victor Conti.
Keep Brandon Ayuk. Trade Deebo. Keep Brandon Ayuk.
Devin Haney. But that doesn't mean that Vada would lie to satisfy Victor Conti. I just don't believe that's true.
You know, in the aftermath of that amazing performance he had in Brooklyn, you, like everyone else, saying...
I was stunned. I was impressed. Yeah. I was amazed.
That hurts my feelings, Malcolm X Box. You know how much I love you and your support on the channel. But, okay, you could go for your Rams. I like the greatest show on turf. I liked them better when they were in St. Louis, Malcolm X.
Was a fantastic performance. And if that performance had taken place with absolutely no taint of illicit drug use, that would be fantastic. But the existing evidence at this moment is that a testing authority I respect and believe in says that he tested positive.
So what is your perception of Ryan Garcia today now?
Bostons, you watch your mouth, sir. You know I love you too, Bostons, but don't you dare utter such awful things like Brandon Ayuk getting traded to the Patriots. You stay with your fake-ass Josh Allen, Drake May.
What is your perception of Ryan Garcia today now?
Well, I only know Ryan Garcia from very brief exposures in media situations where I'm the media and he's the source. I don't know him well enough to make any blanket character judgment about him. I do believe that people who spend tons of time and a lot of their energy and effort communicating via social media are living in an artificial world.
Such a fucking gem by Jim. Such a gem by Jim. Such a gem by Jim. Forget boxing for a minute. That's just a gem.
Spend tons of time and a lot of their energy and effort communicating via social media are living in an artificial world and are not necessarily governed by strict standards of truth. Social media are not about truth.
Lastly, Jim, Devin Haney appeared on SportsCenter last night, which was crazy to see a fighter on primetime SportsCenter sitting on the couch with.
Well, now we know how to cross the border into general media, right? Create a controversy, come up with a giant scandal, or so it is made to appear, and presto, we're on SportsCenter.
Right. Jim's point is the public and the media love bullshit. I'll follow up his point to Oh, oops. Hold on.
Really good fights don't quite do it enough, right?
That's correct. Right. Great fights don't do that.
But
right. Just good old great fights. They don't make the cut on SportsCenter. But although Crawford's performance against Spence did, shout out to Stephen A. Smith. But yeah.
What Haney said not interested in a rematch. What do you think about that?
Not interested now in a rematch.
He even acknowledged that. I'm saying it now.
Not interested now in a rematch. The time will come under, changing circumstances somewhere down the road when it's going to be in both of their best interests to have a rematch, because the public is going to want to see it and will pay for it.
What if it's just that Haney is, fearful of a fair fight or just, anything? What do you think would be his reluctance?
Well, over the long haul, I don't expect Devin Haney to stick to that position if, in fact, he becomes convinced that circumstances can be created which bring Ryan Garcia into the ring as a legitimate competitor and a proven legitimate competitor. Testing is done before the fight. Result exists before the fight. Ryan tests clean. Let's see it. Let's get it on. By the way, Devin has to test clean too.
Is this the stuff of like legendary nights, like the 9-part series where we featured Fan Man and Tyson Douglas? Is this trending?
This is the kind of stuff that, as you've already pointed out, Sean, this gets public attention. As you've already pointed out, this story is on SportsCenter. Yay, boxing made it to SportsCenter. All we had to do is manufacture a controversy about whether a fight was illicit.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you.
Did you know that there's a simple...
Well, that's funny. Hey, he said my name, chat. Did you hear that? He said my name. Aw. That's a win, right? That's a W. All right, so let's just say Ryan Garcia, for the sake of argument, that he's right. That something's going on. There's something's going on with Victor Conte and Snack and the Haneys and all that. Let's just say he's right. I would remind him of this great scene with the great Denzel Washington from the great film Training Day, and that's this.
You got one problem, though, Jake. You got no witnesses. Who your fucking witnesses, huh? Roger? Smiley? You think my troops are gonna help you? It's not what you know. It's what you can prove. Yeah.
Great movie, great scene. All right, chat. So I guess we've done enough of the Ryan Garcia.
As you've had a chance to watch 24/7, what have you learned about...
Okay. The truth will play out. Keep an open mind about the situation. Anything's possible, and sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. But it feels like today, May 3rd, 2024, that there's a strong chance, or at the very least a possibility, that a test will come back positive for nandrolone, or the longer word that starts with N, the more proper name of the drug in question. And if that happens, you never know. I could wake up tomorrow and be looking like an asshole, just like Ryan did to me 2 weeks ago. And it could turn out that Victor Conte's the one who's got explaining to do and all that. And Vada's got some explaining to do. And maybe the New York State Athletic Commission digs into things and says, this is all bullshit. This doesn't smell right. And we find out new information tomorrow. But if we're headed towards that, if we're headed towards a no contest and the B sample not coming back good, like Ryan kind of sounds like he already thinks is going to happen, he's already began to frame the B sample as bullshit too, then Ryan will, at least for a period of time, be a disgraced superstar, but he will be a superstar. It'll be like Tyson in the late 90s after Holyfield. He will be a superstar, and there will be plenty of people, particularly casual fans, and of course that celebrity base he's tapped into with the public, that won't give a shit, that will say, I saw what I saw. He beat the hell out of Devin Haney, and everything else is, bullshit. And so we shall see where we're headed, but I do feel like this is maybe even bigger than some of us can grasp right away. Again, man, when's the last time a fighter sat down on a couch to have a one-on-one in the middle of SportsCenter? It's that's big. And I feel like, when Ryan brought in politics and the entertainment industry and the sporting world and everything, that this is some legendary night shit, some 30 for 30 shit. And this is going to be a huge story. So we shall see as it plays out. Anyway, back to this little old fight that we're going to be watching Saturday night between the undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez and a 43-0 challenger in Jaime Munguia. So David Bedford says, superstar, Ryan, what has he accomplished? Well, not much. You know, beat some former world champ. Well, he beat a former world champion, Fortuna, knocked out a gold medalist in Luke Campbell, and as of today, until a no contest, he beat one of the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters in the world, the former undisputed lightweight champion and a reigning super lightweight champion. But I'm not saying he's a superstar because of accomplishments. I'm saying he's a superstar because of the draw he is, the way he draws in the public. That's why he's a superstar. But yeah. So anyway, Canelo-Munguia. I think, look, I got Canelo. I picked him by decision. I think there's signs there for an upset. I think Oscar, you know, Canelo's human. No matter the great ones, when you tug on Superman's cape, when you piss him off, it makes him better. It may very well be the case for Canelo, but even him being a great one, you know, he's human, and Oscar may have distracted him a bit with this stuff. And he's also the one having to answer all these questions about Ryan. And now he has a lawsuit on his mind with De La Hoya. Now, there's a very solid chance he turns this into positive motivation. It adds more fuel to the fire. And actually, Oscar may have really hurt Munguia more than helped him. Maybe he helped him. Maybe he distracted Canelo, got in his head a little bit. Or maybe he tugged on Superman's cape. And he gave this aging great champion who's faced with an opponent that you can't really build animus for. He's a humble Mexican kid. He's a good kid. He's undefeated. He's got a fun style. And just a generally nice, humble person, Jaime Munguia. And it's hard to work up the rah-rah, the animus for him. And these are professionals here. That doesn't play as big a role as people may think. You know, you go in there and you handle your craft. You handle your business. But Oscar may have, if Canelo was looking for a reason to be angry at this kid and want to knock his fucking head off, Oscar provided it. Jaime didn't, but Oscar did. Meanwhile, Jaime's just been able to fly under the radar all week and just focus on the task at hand, calm, cool, and collected. And at the weigh-in, he's the taller man. Bigger man is questionable because Canelo has a level of muscularity to his frame that Munguia doesn't. He's wider, but Munguia is taller, and he's not a small guy, even though he's coming up from 54 and 60. He's a big kid, and he does punch hard. And I said it before, Munguia's path to victory is pretty obvious. If he could take the power, it's on. If he could take the power, then the pace over 12 rounds. And Canelo keeps talking about inside of 8, inside of 8. Well, part of me wonders if he wants it done inside of 8 because he knows against this kid's pace, if you don't get him out of there, it's a long night. He doesn't stop. So Canelo likes to throw 30, 40 punches around in some of his fights. Munguia is going to get the numbers up there. So yeah, I think there's some ingredients of an upset. One big thing I question for Canelo is he as hungry? Is he a little bit in denial about how hungry he is? He thinks he's hungry. He says he's hungry. Oh, let me get this light right. He thinks he's hungry. He says he's hungry, but how hungry is he after $500 million of earnings, if not more, and maybe being as accomplished as any fighter ever from Mexico, first ballot Hall of Famer, all-time great. Maybe you're not as hungry as this kid who doesn't have all those accomplishments and money. How could you be? And yeah, so that's a pause for concern. But ultimately, I still go with Canelo for one very simple reason. He's just a better fighter than Jaime Munguia. He's just a better fighter than Jaime Munguia. Canelo has one of the great defenses I've seen. He really is a great fighter. And I know some of you guys think like I got this Canelo hate, even though the man's right there. But you guys think I got this Canelo hate because I've been hounding him about the Benavidez fight for years. I have raised eyebrows about the PED stuff in the past and all that, but he is a great fucking fighter. I mean, dynamite power in both hands. One of the best front foot defenders we've ever seen. A lot of the great defenses are pure boxers, guys mostly on the back foot. Like the only other guy that really comes to mind on the front foot with the upper body movement is Mike Tyson in his prime. So Canelo's just a great fighter, and Munguia's not. Munguia's pretty good. He's good, if not pretty good. And he has some ingredients that point in his favor. He's fresh. He's undefeated. He's hungry. Canelo isn't as fresh. Munguia doesn't know how to lose yet. He doesn't know any better. And, you know, again, Alvarez likes his pace. He likes his grown man slowed down pace. And Munguia won't comply with that if he could take the power and get into the meat of the fight. But all that said, Munguia got lit up by Sergey Derevianchenko. And he got better since that fight under Freddie Roach. In the John Ryder fight, he kept his distance better. He got hit a little bit less. Still got hit, but got hit less. And he threw a straight right hand. That he kept his distance and discipline better than I've ever seen him. So he's a rising, you know, he's getting better heading into this fight. And Canelo's getting older. But Canelo's just a better fighter. He's a great fighter. And Munguia's not a great fighter. He's good to pretty good. And Munguia got lit up by Derevianchenko. Canelo's the same size and frame as Derevianchenko, but so much better. And I think that, yeah, I guess my final prediction is I wound up at the same place I was at on Sean's show. My man Sean Porter, the Porter Way podcast. I arrive at the same place. Canelo by unanimous decision. Maybe a close unanimous decision. Maybe closer than I'm going to say. I'm going to say 116-111. I say he does drop Munguia in the first half of the fight. I think Munguia recovers. He gets up. And Munguia has moments as the fight goes on. In part, like the Bivol fight, because Canelo's gas tank makes him take rounds off. And in part, because Munguia is good and puts together good combination punching. So, but I ultimately will take Canelo by decision. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a little closer. Wouldn't be shocked if Munguia wins a decision. Would totally be shocked if Munguia stops Canelo. Wouldn't be that surprised if Canelo stops Munguia. Wouldn't be that surprised if it's a controversial decision. Wouldn't be shocked if Munguia pulls off the upset. Would be shocked. The only outcome that would shock me is Munguia stopping Canelo. Canelo's got one of the greatest chins and defenses of all time, so good luck knocking him out. It's hard to hit him clean. He rolls a lot of stuff. And if you do hit him clean, he's got a fucking granite chin. So good luck to you stopping him. But let's go ahead and take a look at how these guys looked at the weigh-in today. And tell me your thoughts. Here we go. Thank you, Maria. Maria C., I see you. Thank you. Do I think Munguia can take his power? No, not. I think it's going to be an issue because I've seen him hurt by Dennis Hogan. I've seen him hurt by Sergey Derevianchenko. Canelo is a puncher at 68. Canelo wasn't hitting like this at 54, but at 68, he is a bona fide puncher with both hands and amazing accuracy. So if you were getting wobbled by guys like Dennis Hogan and Derevianchenko, yeah, I think it's going to be an issue. The power is going to be an issue. But because he's a tough Mexican kid who's never lost, and I don't think Canelo's going to get him out of there. And I think Canelo might be a little bit like Pacquiao was at this age. Still fucking dudes up, still hurting them, dropping them, but not stopping them.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the superstar of boxing from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, the four-division world champion, boxing first and only undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, El Orgulloso Guerrero.
So I think that's a fake Bill Haney in the chat, but what fucks me up is Bill Haney was really in the chat once when I was talking about the Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney 25% saga, and he was actually mad about me at the take, and I didn't even see him in the chat. So fake Bill Haney, if you're the real Bill Haney, give me a text to let me know it's really you, and, you know.
Guadalajara, Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Okay, real quick, to who I believe is the fake Bill Haney. Fake Bill Haney says, Ryan tried to hurt my son by cheating. This shit is bigger than boxing. All right. I had a discussion with Devin a week or two before the fight. I popped into the Top Rank gym. Hey, bro, starting my own channel. Just wanted to say what's up before the fight. What's up, Bill? What's up, Devin? Devin sparring today. You can't stick around. We're not letting people watch sparring anymore. Okay, I understand. See you in New York. And Devin asked me, "What do you think's going on with Ryan?" And I said, I don't know, man. It could be something as simple as drug use, or it could be some deep shit, some deep stuff going on. And then Devin told me, and now in retrospect, kind of ominously, I think it's some deep shit. And now Devin is saying after this all happened, it's deeper than boxing. And the Illuminati and all this stuff has been roped into it. So I just thought you guys would appreciate me sharing that convo, which was off the record, but I don't think Devin would mind in that particular circumstance. I hope not. I thought it added perspective to the ongoing situation. That's my journalistic and, you know, reasoning for it. Nice shirt by Oscar De La Hoya, right? All right, let's get to the weigh-in. Canelo swaggering in like the undisputed champion he is. What was he jamming out to, the corridos? Is that what this is? He's jamming out to some corridos? He's having fun. God bless him. Great champion, still giving us big fights. I definitely got love for Saul.
Well, fans, the fighters are ready to step onto the scale.
Shout out to my man Glenn Chaos and David Bedford and Mr. Quake. Just wanted to give all you guys shout outs. And my man Weedy.
Welcome them as they make their way on the scale. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. The weight limit is a very strict 168 pounds. First, we'll bring the challenger to the scale. With an outstanding record of 43 wins, no losses, 34 wins coming by way of knockout. He'll be making the 7th appearance in a world title attraction. Please welcome the all-action... I
do think that's the real Haney-Garcia in the chat, saying, my son did not cheat, get your ass out of here. Ryan is a clean fighter. Well, Henry, the truth will come out in the end. And, you know, if Ryan is vindicated, just like... he was vindicated when someone like me picked against him, against Devin Haney, and he shut me and everyone up, and he beat Devin Haney, and I gave him all the credit in the world. I called you Henry and gave him his credit, and I was a man with you and told you, I'm going to mention the Weight on Sean's show, but I'm not going to say that's why Devin lost the fight. I'm going to say because Ryan's a better man. I was a man of my word then, and I said Ryan won the fight because he was a better man. I came on this live twice and said Ryan's the better man. His speed and power were too much. But now with this coming out, Henry, you have to understand that a large majority of the public believes it. And it'll play out. And if it plays out and your son is vindicated, I'll eat some words and give him his credit. But if he's not, and if this test of the Ostarine and the Nandrolone and the New York State Athletic Commission agrees with what VADA is saying, then it is what it is, Henry. And you've done a great job, you know, alongside your wife Lisa in raising Ryan, and he's a star. And I know you guys came from not a lot in Victorville, and I understand people do hate on success and all those kinds of things, but gotta call a spade, Henry. So we shall see as this plays out.
Defeated challenger Jaime-Munguia. The hard-hitting Jaime-Munguia weighs in at 167.4 pounds. 167.4. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. With a record of 60 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. 39 of his wins coming by way of knockout. He will be making his 25th world title appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning and defending undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez weighs in at a ready 166.8 pounds, 66.8 for Canelo Alvarez.
All right, and then we'll look at the face-off.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed super facing off tonight for the main event.
So Munguia, taller, not really bigger. Like, not a bigger frame through the shoulders, through the chest, or none of that, but a taller guy, younger guy.
Of the evening. There they are, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world, Canelo Alvarez versus Haney-Garcia.
Haney-Garcia is in the chat, and I actually, maybe I'm being naive here, but I do believe that is actually the real Haney-Garcia. Henry, you know, Henry said, Sean, I'll leave you with this. Conti is affiliated with VADA. That says it all. Well, Henry, I did say on my account, someone said, great question, Sean. What's your gut tell you on all these things considered? And I said, it's a fucked up situation. Some in the public will question everything because Conti is linked closely with VADA and was the biggest PED supplier in sports. But the fact of the matter is, Ryan Pop Dirty, this will be one of the biggest stories in boxing for a long time. And I stand by that. And again, if the New York State Athletic Commission finds something foul with what VADA has done, and even if they don't, I understand people will still think what they think because of Conti's past and the Haney's relationship with him and how closely he's linked to VADA. I've acknowledged all that on this live. But I asked your son this, and Ryan said it was a loaded question, but I asked him this, Henry, because he did brag about deceiving the whole world. He did brag about that. And he showed some hubris after the fight. And that's why I had to ask him this again.
Ryan, but you're fresh off you bragged about deceiving the whole world. Why should the public believe you now when you deceived everyone in the lead?
That's a loaded question, bro. Some things need to be taken seriously.
And credit to Ryan, again, for actually answering the question.
There was many things that I said on my lead-up that were very serious. Child sex trafficking, very serious. Yes. And I'm still passionate about it. I'm still working behind the scenes against it. So there's a time and place for everything. This is not something to play with, bro. They're trying to say I'm a cheater, bro. I've never cheated in my life. I don't even cheat in video games. This is what I'm saying. This is bullshit, bro. Do not believe the hype. They fucking trying to set me up.
We shall see. We shall see. And Shane Mosley, Henry, said the same thing to Shane.
I mean, he has a very close relationship with Remedy.
Shane, one thing that Team Garcia is pointing out is Victor Conti and that he has a close relationship with him.
Henry, I knew you would point that out, and I understand it's fair to point it out. So, I've mentioned that on the live, but I don't know, man. It doesn't look good, to be quite honest with you. Part of me looks at Ryan and thinks his head's gotten bigger, which is one of the signs of usage, and we'll see.
And that he has a close relationship with
WADA. I mean, he has a very close relationship with WADA, and also what's confusing me, and I was just saying this on a thing, that Victor Conti owns Snack, which Snack has all the fighters. But Victor Conti is known for doing steroids and having steroids. And he has a part in, let's say, WADA? VADA, whatever it is. He's a part of VADA. So if you take all that considerations, I mean, the thing, it seems like it's rigged anyway.
So yeah. Oh, man, but man, what an event. God, we barely even talked about Canelo and Munguia. The only way that fight steals any headlines now is if Munguia wins by upset. But man, Ryan and Oscar and Canelo and all this stuff has gone down so big that no one even is talking about Canelo versus David Benavidez next. People don't even really care about that right now. So it's been a fun week. If anyone wants to talk about some stuff before I get out of here, otherwise, I'm going to rest up, get ready for tomorrow. Tank Davis has a press conference tomorrow announcing his fight with Frank Martin. Got the Box Fan Expo to go to, and then, of course, heading over to T-Mobile for the fight. But let's see. Tyler Durden said, think about all the judges in boxing that are corrupt. Is it hard to think they are corrupt elsewhere? Use your common sense a little bit, Sean. No, I'm just saying anything's possible. Not shooting down any possibility here. But the facts are that Ryan's got a dirty test right now that has to be explained, accounted for. So that's where we're at right now in all this. Let's see. Also get a haircut. No, I'm good. I'm not really particularly concerned by other men's opinion of my hair. My wife likes it, so no thank you, Joseph. Bill Haney said something. The fake Bill Haney, I think. And then Sean, hop on Undisputed with my boy Ryan. Sean, how are you going to celebrate Cinco de Mayo? By resting. Henry saying, look, I didn't stay with Ryan for this camp, but he assures me he did not take anything performance enhancing. Well, I understand you believing your son. You're always going to rock with your son, and I respect that. I would do the same for my son. Sean, you should interview the LDBC. By the way, you look like your name is Nick with that haircut. I've never heard the Nick before. Okay, that's a new one. Thank you, dog. Let's see. Munguia will walk through Canelo. I don't think so. Mr. Quake said, Sean Zittel, may the 4th be with you. I see what you did there. Thank you. Joseph Navarro said, I am undeclared, Sean. Undeclared as to what, Joseph? Do I think Canelo will fight Benavidez? B-side, Sean. What's up, Steven? Appreciate the nickname shout out. Yeah, I think I do. No. Okay, thank you for asking. I do. I think Canelo's going to fight Benavidez. You know what? All right, there we go. We got something to look at. I think Canelo will fight Benavidez because that's who he is. He's a true champion. And I think that's just how he's wired. I just think Canelo's on some shit where it's like, I don't want to feel forced into it. I don't want to feel pressured into it like I'm doing it for other people. These elite athletes and their semantics and psychology, he needs to feel like the boss. So, he wants it on his terms. His terms being a ton of money and all that. But no, man, I refuse to believe that Canelo will duck Benavidez. That's just not who we're talking. We're talking about Canelo Alvarez here. He's a great champion. So I asked Canelo just that. Yesterday. Let's check it out.
Canelo, so you mentioned it before. Everyone said I wouldn't fight Lara. I fought Lara. Everyone said I wouldn't fight Golovkin. I fought Golovkin.
Damn, he's a G. He went, yeah, that's right, motherfucker. I did fight Arislandi Lara. By the way, please support me and hit the like and subscribe because I need the subscribers if I'm going to keep asking these tough questions. I got to get to a point where they can't kick me out for asking tough questions. So help, support, and subscribe.
You mentioned it before. Everyone said I wouldn't fight Lara. I fought Lara. Everyone said I wouldn't fight Golovkin. I fought Golovkin. So isn't it inevitable you fight Benavidez? That's what you do.
If the money is right, in the same night, I beat that guy. I don't care. Because you guys can ask for everything, and I do it, right? I do everything. I did every fight you say, but now why I can ask for what I want?
Because that's how it works, brother. And I understand boxing's the toughest game of them all, but LeBron James still had to get his ass eliminated by Nikola Jokic the other night. He didn't get to go, I'm LeBron. I've done so much for this league. I'm the face of basketball. What do I gotta play Nikola Jokic? He's a nobody. Oh, what do I gotta do this for? That'd be like if Tom Brady said, what do I gotta play the kid Patrick Mahomes for? What are we talking about here? Dak Prescott in the playoff. I'm Tom Brady. I'm the face of the NFL. I made more money than everybody. Well, if you want to stick around and hold your position as the top dog, as the best, that's what it is. You got to fight them young killers. You got to play those young bulls that are hungry for your spot. That's just how it goes, campeón.
I'm in my moment. I'm in my position. I need to ask for whatever I want.
So what's your dream fight then, Saul? What's the one that you go like?
I always
at this point
I enjoy boxing, and this fight is my dream fight with Munguia. I enjoy it a lot, and this fight is big for Mexico. So I enjoy boxing so much.
If you do that fight and you beat Benavidez, what will you say to the people who doubted you?
Easy, but it's gonna be other fighters out there. you're gonna say, oh, now he don't wanna fight these guys. It's always somebody.
Is that not the expectations of a great champion, though?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine because the people talk about the guys in the top. Because if they talk about anybody, nobody's gonna watch them. So that's why they talk about me.
So how long do you think you have?
They talk about me because I'm so popular and everybody wants me. No, I'm just kidding, Canelo. Yeah, he's right. He's right, but he'll take the fight, man. I refuse to believe he won't. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He's still first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest fighters I've seen in my lifetime. It'll be a disappointment. It'll be a note in his career. Hey, he didn't take the Benavidez fight, but it won't invalidate the great fighter he's been. I just refuse to believe it's not going to happen. This is Canelo we're talking about. He's a great champion. I think he'll fight Benavidez. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So, Daniel Navarrete, thank you for the super chat, said, ask Canelo what he thinks about Benavidez saying he should buy a pair of nuts with that $150 million price tag. What his response would be to that. Oof, it's a good one. I would certainly have to put on my best respectful voice and make it painfully clear that this is a quote from David Benavidez and not from me. But I do actually like the suggestion, Daniel. That is a great quote to reference and question to Canelo. Not a bad idea. Thank you for the super chat. Seriously. So yeah, let's see. Would I collab with Showbiz? Yeah, definitely. No doubt. I met Showbiz at the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame 2022, and the Undisputed developers were in the back of the Hall of Fame, letting Showbiz and Boxing Fanatico test out the beta. It was rough. The game's much better now. Showbiz was super cool. Boxing Fanatico was super cool. Will Kinsler, who's one of the lead developers of the game, cool guy. They let me try the game. They knew me from Sean's show. They knew me from Fight Hype. So got love for those dudes. Yeah, I'd definitely be down to collab. Although I don't think he needs any of my help collaborating. Let's see. Sean, why was Leonard Ellerby at the Canelo fight? He's PBC. Let's see. But, all right, guys. I think that's about it. That was really about all I got for everybody. Everyone enjoy. Have you seen IBFP face? Is he around at press? No, I don't think I've ever met that person. I know a lot of people in my chat, IBFP, have mentioned that he's got a really good channel, so shout out to that. Lon said subscribe. Thank you so much. Mr. Quake said Sean Zittel with Booker T. I don't know in regards to what, but always good to see you, Mr. Quake. But all right, guys. That's it. I'll take Canelo by decision. It's been fun this week. I'll go live after the fight, probably in the middle of the night, because we don't get out of these press, especially a Canelo presser. We don't get out of them until like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, West Coast time. But whenever it wraps up, I'll go live and give my thoughts. Maybe Munguia will pull off the upset. But I got Canelo. I got Canelo by decision. And I think we get the Benavidez fight when it's all said and done. Yeah, man, God bless everybody. We'll let this Ryan Garcia stuff play out. I know I gave some opinions, some speculation, and some observations on it. But if Ryan is absolved and vindicated, then we'll go down that road. If this is held up and the Nandrolone also winds up being a thing, and he's a disgraced superstar, then we'll cover that part of his journey. And if that is where he's headed, maybe he redeems himself in the end or whatever. But I do feel strongly this is going to be one of the biggest stories in boxing in a long time. And I think it's going to be a good fight Saturday. And Mexican people are happy because they win no matter what, whether it's Canelo or Munguia, and they know it's going to have action based on the two styles. So everyone take care. Glenn Chaos, 3 Pumps, Joe Dirt, Malcolm X, always. Joseph Navarro, you have a good one too. Joseph Navarro didn't like the haircut, but he says tank over everyone. Ernesto Z, Maria C, everybody, Steven Gontrol, everyone have a good one. God bless you all. And let's continue to enjoy the craziness of boxing in this awesome, crazy sport. Take care. See you later. Peace. Have a good one. Kiss the babies.